All right, you guys, so time for the easiest unit that we have all year long. That's only if you pay attention. If you don't pay attention, this is going to be the worst thing that you've ever had. Yes?
I don't know.
Okay. Now the key to this whole unit is taking notes, because I'm going to show you guys something completely different than what you're going to see in the note packet.
Wait, what did you say? Take notes? Okay.
Is that like a foreign language?
No, sure.
It's like one of those vocabulary that
I don't know.
it's one of those weird vocabulary words we have.
It won't be the same on the side, right?
Nothing is going to be the same.
I'm just making sure.
Nothing is the same.
Patrick, then why do you give us these packets? You're just killing trees.
Because a lot of people in this class right now don't pay attention.
So let them not pay attention.
And do you know what? It's for them to figure it out themselves. And I gave you a way to figure it out. Look, read through your own notes.
Just like
The packets have
give it to them.
Okay, but you need to do your own notes on this.
Yeah, but I have.
But you write and you keep your notes for each one of these examples, and you're going to go through your examples of how to do each problem.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
He doesn't like.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same problems, but I'm going to show you a completely different way to do it. Okay, because I don't know, I think it's kind of mean for me to just give you this and say, you know what, go sit across the hall and, figure it out yourself. I don't like doing that.
It's really nice.
Okay? So, let's go ahead and do this.
Patrick, well, I was just being here. You did something so nice.
Should I be nice?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Alright, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. One-to-one function. For every horizontal line intersects the graph of a function at most once. Do you guys remember the vertical line test?
Nope.
How long ago? Oh, I remember it.
Yes, okay. This is horizontal line test. So if you draw a line this way, yeah. So if you think about it, we have like waves. There's what?
Fire alarm.
Okay, so right here we have horizontal line test. Right here, this function is 1-to-1. Horizontal line right here, this function is not 1-to-1. That means that your horizontal line, your y value has more than one x value. Okay? Inverse function, 1-to-1, not the exponent, summary of inverse, replace f, interchange. So, inverse functions. Okay, same thing. Inverse sine. Okay, find y in each equation. All right, so arc is another way of doing an inverse, because we've already done this one before. Arc. So what that means is where on my unit circle, so if you have your unit circle or your reference sheet out right now, where on my unit circle is sine equal to 1/2?
Where is this on the? Yeah, that's not.
Page 4. 30 degrees.
Page 4, Patrick, see, you guys 4 pages. Where?
30 degrees or
30 degrees or
5 or 6 or 120.
5 or 6. Okay, so now let's go ahead and where's my pen? That's what I'm. Oh, here it is. Okay. So unit circle. It's going to be here, which is going to be pi over 6, right? Okay, so now, is that the only place where it's going to be?
No.
No, it's not.
It's 5 pi over 6 as well.
5 pi over 6? Okay, so you're saying it's going to be over here also?
I don't know.
Are we drawing that too?
You don't have to. I'm trying to tell you.
Excuse the interruption, staff. We are all clear in the 500 building. We are all.
So from my unit circle, that's basically what I'm trying to find. Where is sine equal to 1/2? So we get it on the unit circle or your reference sheet at pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6.
Also, at the 7 pi over 6,
That's equal to 1/2?
negative 1/2.
Is it equal to 1/2?
Nope.
7 pi over 6. What do you get at 7 pi over 6?
Negative 1.
-1/2. So that's not what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Is that easy?
Yes.
On the notes, is it asking for this in radian or degrees? Because it didn't say on the explanation.
It's showing radians here.
It's radians? Okay. Is that easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all we're doing. So we look on the.
I'm trying to explain it to you.
So we go to 1/2.
No, along the outside of the circle is where you're finding it.
Yes.
Arcs, you start with the outside of the circle to find the angle. If you're trying to regular sine, you would go to the angle and find the value on the outside. You go to the inside, and then you find the number that goes along with it on the outside. So now, arc sine of negative 1/2. Where on my unit circle is sine equal to negative 1?
Why do you say negative 1/2?
I don't know.
Like that, pi over 2.
Negative.
Pi over 2.
I mean, pi.
3 pi over
It's going to be what?
180.
2. Pi over 2.
3 pi over 2.
I said that.
Is that easy?
That's all it does.
Yeah. Is there any other place on the unit circle where it's equal to negative 1?
No. But the answer is different on the thing. They're doing it wrong.
Huh? What's the answer on the thing?
Negative pi over 2. What I just said.
Oh.
That's the same thing as the opposite. That's the positive.
Oh, because they have the interval.
Didn't you just tell us not to pay attention to the...
No, that's what I was checking because it doesn't have the interval here. Interval is going to be from negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. So from your reference sheet, that's where they got that one. This one's actually, that's why I was asking you guys what was on the notes, because it didn't actually say it in the slide for this.
How do we know when to draw the circles?
The circle is your thing you see.
Ah, there it is. There it is. I was looking for this. Okay, I'm going to bring up this so you guys could actually see it, especially for those people paying attention online. We have like one person there. Thank you for watching my video.
Oh, that's fair. I just noticed that thing's not making
That's me
noise.
the day before the test.
When I was watching the videos, there was like a 2-minute conversation about that heat thing. Like how the noise and the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear,
You were talking about
this
crickets.
fucking side.
Okay, so let's look. So right here for the arc sine, the domain is from negative 1 to 1 and the interval from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. That's why I was asking what was on the thing, because it didn't say the interval on this one. That's what I'm telling you where it's coming from. So this box that you guys have on your reference sheet, this box that you have on your reference sheet is going to be where you're actually getting where these things are going to be at.
So that's gonna be one of them where you spoke to.
Yeah, so this one and the unit circle right there. So let me go back to the notes because it didn't actually state my interval here. So on this one right here, the interval again, okay, since the interval said negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2, that's on my unit circle, and it's going to be in quadrant right here. So it's positive pi over 2 here, and negative pi over 2 here. So in this interval, where was sine equal to negative 1/2? We had to go backwards, right? We had to go backwards right here. So this one's going to be at negative pi over 2. So if I went forward, and that's what I was asking from the unit circle, it was only going to be the 3 pi over 2. So this one's going to be negative pi over 2. That means that the back one went over here. Arc sine, that means that this is also outside of my interval. Because my interval for sine is going to be from positive pi over 2 to negative pi over 2. It's going to be from here to here. And you're only going to look at this quadrants. So let's take a look at the next one. I think the next one's supposed to be a cosine. Nope, sine again. Okay, in my interval, again, same interval since it's sine, it's going to be from negative pi over 2.
It's not that, just that.
Right there, yeah. So it's the same interval for all these. That's why I was asking if it was the unit circle or it was the interval given. So this one's the interval given. So now, from the interval that I'm giving to you right now, is there anywhere on my unit circle where it's equal to negative 2?
No.
No. So we would say what?
Undefined.
Undefined or does not exist.
No.
Okay? Okay, range, particular inverse, right here, arc sine. Okay, cosine. My cosine, right here, this is where it is. So you can go back to the reference sheet if you want to look at it. It's going to be from 0 to pi. My reference for this one, for cosine, 0 to pi. So, let's start this off. 0. No. So what quadrants is that going to be?
Quadrant 1 and 2.
Quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, right? So quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So now it's asking, where's my cosine equal to positive 1? At 0. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. Over that interval. Okay, same thing here. Same interval. 0 to pi. Quadrant 1 and 2. Find on your circle in quadrant 1 and 2, where is cosine equal to negative rad 2 over 2?
3 pi over 4.
3 pi over 4.
I don't know what the R is. Mr. Cheeseburger, you're wasting too much people. I don't know what the R is. Go to page 7. I'm looking at the phone.
You know I'm actually going slide by slide, but since you were like on your phone every time I looked up at you.
You're not going side by
No, you're
side
not.
because-
I was just on page 4. Now I'm on page 7.
Every time I go over, it's another slide.
There's so many extra things on this, I swear.
Maybe you can put it on postcard. I make, yeah, no
Or
cards.
there's a picture of the golden signature.
Oh, I know why. Because one of those extra. So where like one of the problem actually has like an extra stuff where they actually do like this problem has more than one problem part of it. So if it goes like this slide and it actually goes over for like 2 or 3 slides, I only use the first one.
Yeah, but the
Oh,
thing is,
wearing a
if you
collared
actually
shirt
paid
too, that's
attention,
what-
you know he's going to the next problem.
Okay, so let's just try and follow through. Okay? So, as long as we're not texting or Instagramming or Snapchatting or whatever you're doing back there. Okay, inverse cosine. So, somewhere between there and there. Next one, our cosine. Okay, tangent. Arctangent. What is my range? Where am I going to do?
0 to 5.
Nope, try again. Nope, try again.
Negative 1 to 1.
Nope, try again.
Negative pi over 2.
Oh, negative.
Negative pi over 2 to pi over 2.
Oh.
And it's on the reference sheet also, if you've lost it.
Right here.
Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Okay.
All right, cotangent.
0 to pi.
0 to pi. And now, if you notice, are they equal to the endpoints? Say no.
No.
Because does it say less than equal to? No, so it can't be equal to the endpoints. Same thing goes here, cannot be equal to the endpoints. But over here, are these equal to the endpoints?
Yes.
Yes. That's the difference in between those. That's the same thing that you guys have on your reference sheet. Okay, let's see if we can find this out. Find the degree measure. Okay, what is the range for arctan? Where does it start at? Negative pi over 2
And pi over 2.
to positive pi over 2. So what quadrant is that?
1 and 4.
1 and 4, right? But you have to go down, you have to go backwards for that one. So arctan, what is wrong with you now?
Listen, do you have any more unit circles to take mine?
I don't have any more unit circles.
I'm gonna give it back.
Do you not have this?
It's on the blue sheet.
I don't think it was here for the bullshit.
It's in the fine.
Okay, where is tangent equal to 1? Now, tangent is what over what?
Y over X.
Y over x, so sine over cosine. Where is the sine over cosine going to give me 1?
Oh, pi over 4.
Pi over 4, right? But this time it's asking for
45 degrees.
45 degrees. Easy now?
Yeah.
Because in tangent you have x and y. So for x and y to be the same value, all right, this next one, secant. Secant is the reciprocal of what? Let's see. Reciprocal of cosine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the range of secant? I'm going to back up a page. Range of secant would be from where? 0 to 2 pi, but can I include pi over 2? I'm sorry, secant is 0 to pi, but pi over 2 is not allowed.
Nope.
Okay, it's right here. That's going to be from 0 to pi over 2, and then union from pi over 2 to pi. Again, what this means is it's in quadrants 1 and 2, but it cannot be 90 degrees, or it cannot be at pi over 2. That's what that means. Did I lose everyone?
No.
Yes?
Yeah.
When you said cannot be 90 degrees.
It can't be 90 degrees. Okay, so pi over 2 is 90 degrees, so it cannot be that. So now secant is the reciprocal of what? Say cosine. Cosine. So let's think of this in the terms of a cosine now. If this is the reciprocal of cosine, I'm looking for the arc cosine of, what's the reciprocal of that? 1 over 2. So now where's the arc cosine of 1/2? Now what?
60 degrees.
Equals 6 degrees. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the ones that you have to actually like keep trying, ask a lot of questions. I should have my advisory full every day of you people, except for you people. Okay? So you already have this. You already have this. I want you over here teaching this stuff. Huh? Yes, you. And you. Okay? You're going to lead this stuff. Okay? You're going to be in here and you're going to show these people. Everyone is going to be in here turning in homework on time. Because if you wait on this, all this knowledge that you're getting, that you somewhat get right now, it's going to be gone by tomorrow. Because you're going to go home and smoke that up. And you're going to be like, oh, the brain cell's dead now.
No, I'm just gonna be sleeping in a way.
Okay. All right. This next one, let's see. Here we go. Example 4. Example 4. This one now says radians, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that's radians.
Isn't that half of a circle? Not half. Center?
And that's radius. Radians is like pi over 2.
You know what you're talking about.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys what was the interval for this one. That's negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, right? But it's going to be to 0, union, 0, and pi over 2. So I'm taking this information from this right here.
Cosecant can't equal 0.
Yes, cosecant can't equal 0. Now, the reason why it can't equal 0, I'm going to show you guys something. Isn't cosecant, its cosecant should be something over something. What is it? R over?
1 over y.
R over y, right? Okay, so now, why can this, the y value, not equal 0?
Because then it becomes undefined.
There we go. It's undefined at that point. That's what we're getting at. It's undefined because of that. No, if the y is 0. The y cannot equal 0.
Oh.
Y is 0.
So y can't be 0, but r can. Alright, so now, given that one right there, where is this going to equal negative 3? So we know this is a reciprocal of sine. So arc sine of, what's the reciprocal of that? Is there anywhere on my unit circle that it's going to be negative 1/3?
No.
No, but let's see if we could actually figure it out with the calculator too. So, you guys will love this. So, radian. Radian. So, is your calculator radian?
No, I just changed it.
Doc, settings, radian.
Dot make default.
Wow, mine just shut off. It just closed. Anyway. Alright, so
You have to pay for that app you have.
Negative 0.34. If you round it up. Negative 0.34.
let me see if I can actually get this real quick.
It's a bit of a challenge.
Oh, okay, I see. Dude, they're using older.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to try and get this before too late, so hopefully it works. So let's see. I'm going to change my dock settings, radian, make default. Okay, so now I'm in radian. So it's at arc sine, right? And it was negative 1/3.
Yeah. And that equals negative.
So for those few people paying attention and not conversating in the back, this is going to be like super helpful. So we get
Negative
Okay, so I'm going to say, listen, whenever you're going to do this in the calculator, give it 4 decimals. 4 decimals. Always, you want it 4 decimals. So this would be negative 0.3398. 4 decimals because whenever I do this, the difference in between if I only take a tenth or 100th is actually a couple of degrees. So your answer would go from like 51 to 54 if that's what this is. I don't know, what is it in radian? Let me see, what would degree be anyway? 7 to, in degree, this would be, so, what is it?
Negative 19.4712.
Okay, so there we go right there. But instead, so if I were to use 2 decimals, I probably wouldn't get to the same number. Okay? All right, you guys. So, good news. Let's take a look at this other one then. Inverse cosine 1/2. Now change it back to degrees. This only works in degrees though. This only works in degrees.
Yes. So
Radians, that's for pi, practically.
I'm working Pacho. I already did this part.
No, because I'm going over this in a new way.
Okay. How come it's not working?
This comes from you.
I swear, I'm trying to learn how to do this, and he keeps like talking about weird things to me.
I'm not talking to you about anything. I'm talking to you
About weird things.
That's your listen.
How about this one? Arctan 1. Arctan 1. This only works in degrees.
Because radians is for
Radians is going to give you only decimals because you have a pi multiplied in there.
Yeah.
It only works in degrees. But now, if I tell you, hey, what is arctan 1 but in radian? What could you do with this information?
Put it in the calculator.
I got the calculator, right? But if I asked for radian, what would you do?
Oh, multiply it by
Multiply by what?
By pi.
pi over 180.
Pi over 180, right? That could give you the same value, but in radians.
Or you just put 1 over 180.
Yeah, 1 over 180, but you're multiplying by pi over 180, right? So that would give me my pi over 4, wouldn't it? Yeah, go.
How come it doesn't give you the same for sine?
Let's see if you paid attention. Where are we at here?
We're on example 4.
No, I'm going backwards to do all the ones that we've done already. Okay. Look. I said you guys could do this. Negative rad 2 over 2. Arc cosine.
Degrees?
It only works in degrees. Gives me 135, right? Okay, but since I know it's not supposed to be there, I know it's in the wrong quadrant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, if it's in the wrong quadrant, if it's in quadrant 2 and it's supposed to be in quadrant 4, how would I get from one to the other?
Change it.
If it's supposed to be in quadrant 4, but it's in quadrant 2, I'm moving all the way across the unit circle, right? From one side to the opposite side. So I'm going to subtract 180 to move something from quadrant 2 down to quadrant 4. And then to get the radian, what would I do with this? Pi over 180, right? Yep. Okay, so now you ask why did it not work on this? Right? Okay, so let's try this one. You said it's arc sine, right? Of what? -1/3. Okay, so I have this, but if I need to convert to radian, this is not exact. This number 1/3 is nowhere on my unit circle, is it? That's why. It's nowhere on my unit circle, so that's where I get that from.
How do you get that? I'm not sorry, not really, but.
Is there a 1/3 on your unit circle?
No.
There's nowhere. It's all ones, zeros, 1/2s, rad 3/2, or rad 2/2. That's all you have with your unit circles.
Yours is in degrees.
I don't know if I want to answer that because I was preaching it, but someone was talking to someone about something that other people were complaining about. So, all right. Anyway, so we'll do more of this Tuesday.